Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is doing good. I hope you guys are, slowly but surely getting through this quarantine season, and I hope everyone is just safe right now. So today I'm bringing a little bit of a different feel to my channel. This is going to be not really a story time, but just me talking about my experiences battling depression, anxiety, and borderline personality disorder, which honestly, I've been battling this for about, I would say, 2-3 years now, diagnosed. So my full diagnoses are the depressive disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, and of course, borderline personality disorder. I'm going to talk about each thing individually, each diagnosis or disorder individually, so that you guys get a good feel for, what I've been dealing with. And I honestly am talking about this because I'm hoping that this will open up dialogue for anybody who's dealing with the same thing, and anyone that's going through these things but doesn't know how to deal with it and doesn't really know how to cope. And I'm going to tell you guys ways of how I learned to cope with it, and basically how I'm going along with my journey with my disorders. So I would say that I pretty much knew throughout my teenage years that there was something wrong mentally. And when I say wrong, I mean I just always felt out of place or out of touch with my mental health, and always felt kind of sad but not knowing exactly what was going on. And so it wasn't until, I would say, 2018, we're now in 2020, 2018, where I realized, okay, like, you need to get help. Now, me always knowing that depression was a thing, I also had this, stereotypical way of thinking about depression as, like, oh, that person's just being dramatic, or depression's not a real thing, it's just all made up, you're just sad. Until I realized that no, like, depression is a real thing. It affects a lot of people, and it's a very sad state to be in, and it's not fun. You feel alone, you feel sad, you feel hopeless, you just feel like nothing is gonna get better. So in 2018, going into 2018, I had moved out of my parents' house, moved into my own townhome with my kids and my brother, and everything was going well, or so I thought, until I just couldn't. It started with me not being able to get out of bed in the morning. Like, getting out of bed in the morning for me was a task on its own. It felt like a chore, and that's when I knew something was wrong. Me getting out of bed in the morning was a problem. I was losing patience with my kids. I wasn't able to get up and make my meals, or get up and make meals for them without me feeling like, oh, like, I don't want to do this. Like, I just had no energy. I was always tired. I just always felt, gross, disgusted, down. I just always wanted to be in bed. And at the time, I was working at an auto collision center where I was performing reception duties there. And the job was decent, but I just always felt so tired and drained and depressed. And it was just a very stressful environment to be in. So honestly, like, it was just not the place for me to be at the time. So I had gone to my doctor, and I seen my doctor and asked for, a medical opinion about why I could possibly be feeling this way. And ultimately, they gave me a self-assessment. I was diagnosed with depressive disorder and generalized anxiety. And I was put on a leave of absence at work. Now, during this time, I also had conflict with my boss at the time at my job. So it was not the right time to leave, but I just knew that I needed to for my own mental sanity, and just for me to be okay in the long run. Because at the end of the day, a job should not prevent you from taking the time off you need to feel healthy and to feel good about yourself. So at first, I think I had gotten about a month off, and it extended to 6 or 7 months. That was the longest period I've ever taken off of a job before, and it was well needed, but best believe it was not, I don't think it, like looking back on it now, I don't feel like that was the best thing for me. I was spending my days in bed, sleeping all day. Like when I say all day, like I literally did not leave my bed. My friends and my family would be calling me to check on me like several times per day. I would not pick up the phone. And this is how I also knew something was wrong with me too. I knew something was wrong because I'm a very social person. I have a very extroverted personality. Yeah, I can be quiet at times, but I love being around people. I love socializing. I love going out. I was literally not even going out. I did not enjoy going out. I did not enjoy being around people. The thought of having a conversation with another person would literally scare me to the point where I just would stay inside and sleep all day. Yeah, so my morning routine was I would get up every morning, go drop the kids off to daycare, come back home, sleep the day away. And during this time, it was the summertime too, so you would think I would be wanting to be out with my friends, hanging out, whatever. No, I just wanted to sleep all day. It was, yeah, it was really, really, really difficult. One of the hardest times in my life. The anxiety. The anxiety was tough because that was the first thing that started before the depression. I just realized that I was starting to get, like high tensions in a lot of situations where my chest would tighten up, my head would start to hurt, dry mouth, tingly feelings in the hands. That started first, and then it was the panic attacks. The panic attacks were a little bit more extreme, where those ones with panic attacks, you don't know when a panic attack is going to arise. So you could literally just be hanging out and all of a sudden a panic attack will hit you out of nowhere. It doesn't have to be an underlying reason for a panic attack. And I could recall this one time where I had a really bad panic attack. I was on FaceTime with a friend, and I was talking to him, and he says that all of a sudden my vision became very blurry, my pupils became dilated, and my mouth was very, very dry. I just remember the sensation of a very, very dry mouth to the point where I literally could not even swallow. My speech was slurred. My heart rate was just extremely accelerated. I had this pins and needles feelings in my hands, all throughout my hands and my feet. And I just remember just being so panicky, like this reoccurring thought in my head, like, you're gonna die, you're gonna die, you're gonna die. These are the feelings I was having in that moment, and that's when I knew, like, something's wrong. So my friend called the paramedics. They came to my house, came and picked me up and brought me to the hospital. Luckily, it was just a panic attack. But you see, I wasn't educated at the time about what to do in a panic attack situation. So I was just like, oh my God, like, I'm literally gonna die. That was also another indicator, like, something's wrong. So let's speed it up a little bit and fast forward to 2019. 2019 was where I got my diagnosis of borderline personality disorder. Borderline personality disorder is, in definition, it means someone who is emotionally unstable, someone who is unable to regulate their emotions as a per se normal person. A borderline personality is someone who either thinks black or white. There's really no in between, and that is the hardest part about a borderline personality, because although we're not full-blown personality disorder, we're really on the cusp of it. Can you imagine dealing with a depressive disorder, an anxiety disorder, and a personality disorder? All three are what make me up as a person, and me having to deal with all of these things on top of having 2 children that are under the age of 6 at the time. Borderline personality disorder, some of the symptoms of borderline personality disorder, or some of the ones that I experience, are the fear of abandonment. And that is like the number one thing for me, is the fear of abandonment, always feeling like, people are going to leave. That's a big one. Splitting, I've had many, many, many interactions with splitting, whether it be my mom, my best friends, my kids even. Splitting is where you think either it's all good or all bad. So someone can literally be everything to you in this moment, but 5 minutes later they do one thing wrong and that you hate them and you think they're the worst person ever. So that's splitting. Another one is shifting self-image slash self-identity discombobulation. You often wanting to change your appearance or change your personality. I went through a stage of wanting to completely legally change my name. That was another one. I'm trying to think of a few of them, but you get the point. It's just a lot going on with the BPD and dealing with the depressive disorder and the anxiety. I think one of the biggest takeaways from dealing with all of this was, for me, was just learning to pace myself, not do anything that was going to put my mental health at risk, staying away from people that I thought were affecting my mental health. But then another thing that I was doing during my rougher times is I was disassociating myself from people that were actually good for me, people that actually loved me, people that actually wanted to be around me. But I didn't know that at the time. I just thought, you know what, like, I need to not be a burden to anyone. I just need to stay away from everyone. I need to, you know, keep away from everyone. But that's not what I wanted. I just wanted everyone to be close, but I also wanted them to be far. So I know that may not make sense to a lot of people, but when you're going through, you know, that when you're under that spell, I'm gonna call it, you're just not thinking clearly. So when someone is going through that and they're pushing you away, they often want you close, but they just can't articulate that to you. So they would just rather push you away. And that's what I wanted at the moment. And I lost a lot of friends because of it. I lost a lot because of that situation. But I'm just, you know, I'm at a point where I'm just trying to be positive, you know. I also have a really, really, really bad relationship with my medication. And I know that medication is not for everyone. But for persons with borderline personality disorder, it's very important for you to be medicated so that you can regulate your emotions on a daily basis and regulate your serotonin levels. And serotonin levels are responsible for a lot of your emotional responses in your body on a day-to-day basis. We're going to fast forward a little bit. I think that as of today, right now, I think I'm doing much better than I was 2 years ago. I'm still a work in progress. I'm still nowhere near perfect. I'm still working so hard and fighting for myself to get better. You know, I have a psychotherapist, I have a therapist, I have my family doctor on standby. I know if I need them, they're there. I have tons of support, tons of family and friends. But it's just one of those things where I'm going to always need that extra help. I'm going to always be in need of those extra supports, and I know that they're there, so it makes me feel very good. But my mental health is something that's going to be a long life journey. It's not something that I can just, you know, skip past and get past like that. But I just wanted to talk about this and put it out there so that anyone who's going through these exact same feelings, through these emotions, you know that you're never alone. Your mind may imprison you and make you feel that you are alone, but you're never alone. And just know that, you know, whenever you need someone, reach out. Even if it's a stranger, just tell someone. Don't lock yourself up and feel like, hey, like everyone hates me, like I have no one. Just know that you will always have someone there. You just need to speak up, as hard as it may be. Don't trap yourself and lock yourself up, because it can only be detrimental to your health in the long run. And it does get better. I know that some days feel dark, but it does get better. So I hope that this little video was helpful to some. I hope that it was educational in a little sense. I hope that it kind of gives you some insight on depression, anxiety, and borderline. And I hope that if you have anyone in your life that is battling these things, that you can be a support for them as well. So I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.